Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, and I got another recap video for you guys. This one is Married at First Sight, season 13, episode 5, Out of the Comfort Zone into the Sea recap. So, the honeymoon continues for the couples on the show in the Florida Keys, but just for 4 couples. Now, despite trying exciting new activities and taking stabs at romance, some start to learn that their differences are greater than what they have imagined. During a friendly game, which we'll talk about, of Never Have I Ever, the group finds out a lot more about their partners. Some of these revelations prove to be deal breakers in the future, and that proves to be very, very interesting. Now, that the honeymoon is about to end, it's getting back to the real world. Now, this is when things start to get really good, is what we're seeing as fans. Now, anything that hasn't been flushed out will definitely be revealed once the couples have their lives together, especially since they'll be back in a familiar setting and not secluded on their own little bubble. So, you know what? I have a feeling that some of these issues that came up during the honeymoon are only the beginning. But let's talk about it. So let's start out talking about Zach and Michaela. Oh my God, it is just so unfortunate for these two, being that their honeymoon was cut short on day 1. Especially after Zach being diagnosed with COVID. He is quarantining in Florida while Michaela, his wife, is back home in Houston. Now, although they have only known each other for a very short period of time, you can tell that they both miss each other. And, hopefully this is something that, even though it looks like a challenge, would only bring them that much closer. So we do get to see where Zach did get a chance to call the other couples to check in. He does express some guilt over being sick and ruin the honeymoon for his wife, Michaela. Now, everyone did reassure him that, things are going to be okay. They wish him well. I think Gil and Mirla even brought him some beer and other snacks. So they're definitely trying to accommodate him. And, it has to be lonely being trapped in a hotel room all day while everybody else is out having a good time and having fun. And his wife is not able to be there either. But hopefully he's able to return home soon in better spirits and can get back with Michaela, his wife. All right, let's talk about Mirla and Gil. So Gil wakes up and inquires once again about whether Mirla intends to change her last name. Now, she definitely isn't a fan of that idea. She claims she wants to keep her name to honor her dad, who, of course, has passed on. Now, this could be true, but I have a feeling it also has more to do with her not being sure what is going to happen between the two of them as well. Now, we do see Gil suggesting compromising by hyphenating her name, but she's still not convinced even with that. Now, we did also see during dinner with the other newlyweds, Mirla and Gil get a little passionate about their views. Gil doesn't mind if he and his wife has different political views. Mirla, on the other hand, strongly disagrees. She even goes far to say that it would be a deal breaker for her. Now, I can see both points, but I think it depends on the type of person you are. If you believe very strongly about something and you marry a person who believes the polar opposite and is very adamant about it, then it could be an issue. And luckily for them, they both agree about where they stand politically. And again, we did see that in season 12 with Virginia and Eric. So I'm wondering if this is one of many problems that's going to be an issue for Mirla and Gil. But only time will tell, so we'll have to see. Okay, now we got Bal and Johnny, and we got a lot of unpack on this episode with these two. So Bal wakes up and decides to confront Johnny about their discussion about her snoring the night before. She wants him to understand that although it may not seem like a big deal, that is definitely a deeper issue for her. She was bullied about it growing up, so she is deeply insecure about this issue. Now, Johnny has made a few jokes in the past, but I don't think after this whole thing he will ever do that again. Now, later we see he works up the nerve to tell Bal how he is truly feeling. He wants her to start living in the moment rather than going to a place that is very negative. Now, he even tells her he began having some doubts himself. Now, although Bal is disappointed, she does appreciate the fact that he is open and honest about it. And that's what he should do. Now, after their chat, Bal decides to give living in the moment a chance at Johnny's request. They even decide to do a fun activity, but things get serious again very quickly when they discuss how things will go once they move in together. Now, both of them seems really very particular in different ways, so this should definitely be something interesting to watch. Now, Johnny is also beginning to see more red flags as he talks more with his wife, Bal. Now, it is alarming that when she made a case for wanting to not to shower regularly, where Johnny showers multiple times a day, and he seems confused by why they're even having this conversation. Now, I mean, it was very cringy to watch listening at them have that conversation. It seems like she does not understand that what you do when you live alone may have to change when it affects another person. And, he wants to sleep on clean sheets. Now, for most people, that would definitely be a deal breaker, especially marrying a stranger that did not have good hygiene. Now, Johnny and Bal shares another tender moment when he tells her that his dad finally gave his blessing for their marriage. After describing his wife to his dad, about who she was, what she's about, Johnny's dad was definitely genuinely relieved. Now, despite some of the issues that they have, I know it seems like they could be a pretty good match. They will have to be patient and learn to compromise. But, if they definitely can accomplish that, this relationship or this marriage could definitely blossom into something very, very special. So, I mean, her insecurities and her living in the moment is definitely going to be something that she has to work on. And him being very particular and quick to move so fast about whether or not he wants to stay in the relationship, that's something that he has to evaluate. So we'll have to see as the season go on what direction these two are going to take. Okay, let's talk about Rachel and Jose. So Rachel admits that she has never learned to ride a bike because he had this whole little excursion with bike riding. Jose decides to take on the task of teaching his wife, and he's either a good teacher or she picks up things pretty fast, because she definitely did really well for her first time. Now, when they sit down and take a break, she thanks him for uplifting her rather than tearing her down. Rachel seems really amazing to him, but it's just so unfortunate that she was treated so poorly in her past relationships. Now, after everything seems to be going so well, things took a left turn when they began to talk about finances again. Rachel is not on board at having a joint account, and she doesn't want to feel like she's receiving an allowance. And, I have a feeling that Jose is only biding his time until he insists that things, do go his way, or they do things his way. So, I mean, they seem to be really touchy-feely. They've been really romantic with each other, and it seemed like it was going pretty well. And she was very complimentary to him about how she felt, but I don't know. I'm still 50-50 when it comes to these two, because I'm wondering if there's some things that's going to pop up with these two as the season continues, but we'll definitely have to see what happens. So last but not least, we have Brett and Ryan. Now, Brett and Ryan decide to enjoy a day of kayaking until they run into a problem. There is a massive manatee that decides to trail Brett. And just when she's on the verge of freaking out, he decides to go on his way. Now, although she isn't an outdoor person, Ryan appreciates the fact that she has been open to trying new things. Now, Brett is really happy that she now has someone to push her outside of her comfort zone. And I thought that was really cool. That even though she's not that outdoorsy person, she was definitely willing to take that leap and put in the effort, especially now that she's married. Now, at the couple's dinner, Brett admits she and Ryan still haven't discussed some heavier topics with one another. She actually makes a good point. Now, normally you wouldn't have those type of conversations this early, but given they only have 7 weeks to make a decision, she might want to rethink that approach. And a discussion about politics definitely caused Brett to worry if she and her husband may clash in the future. And he actually took it as not a big deal. And why are they even talking about this? But obviously this is something that's extremely important to her as well. Kind of like one of our other couples as well with their political choices. Again, another Eric and Virginia situation from season 12. So I'm wondering how that was going to work. A couple of other things that came out at the Never Have I Ever. I think we had Bal said that she actually has had a one-night stand or cheated before. One of them. Oh, no. She had a one-night stand, and Rachel is the one that cheated before. So that definitely raised some eyebrows with their husband, because Jose was not happy about the cheating. And I think it took Johnny, a little off guard about the fact that she was able to have a one-night stand, but they have pretty much been hands off with each other, at this point in the process. So, and that's the other thing. I don't understand how these folks are signing up for these processes as being husband and wife, but then they're moving really, really slow. And I'm not saying, you got to do what's comfortable for you, but if you're going to move this slow, you only have 7-8 weeks for this process to make a decision. I don't know if you should sign up for something like this. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one.